Hello, gamers, and welcome to Budget Arcade, a free-to-play gaming podcast to help you navigate through the growing realm of free-to-play games. I'm Scott.
I'm Jeffrey.
Wow, that was awful quick. I'm Cody.
Masters of Minions and Minions of Masters. It's me, Elliot.
And welcome to episode
That's a line from the game.
Just to recap, we play a free-to-play game each week, and then we review it. Cody, what is this week's game?
This is actually something that I recommended. Didn't think we'd already be playing it already, but we're playing Minion Masters. It is available on PC and Xbox, published and produced by Beta Dwarf. It was released on May 24th, 2019, and it's a card game / strategy, almost RTS, kind of?
I almost put it closer to like,
know,
it's
kinda hard to
sort of like a
explain.
MOBA
Anyway.
with cards. It's kind of how it felt to me.
Yeah, it's very strange. It was an interesting take on the, if you played Hearthstone, these guys disagreed with me a little bit, but I told them it was basically 3D Hearthstone that was constant
not at all.
instead of like having
I agree with that.
turn per turn.
Yeah.
You actually play like as you charge. But anyway, I don't care what you guys think. Anyway, let's get into the gameplay.
Nothing like Hearthstone. I play Hearthstone all the time.
I don't play Hearthstone, and I know it's not like Hearthstone. Anyway, so the gameplay is... All right, I'm going to get into the gameplay like you asked.
Hearthstone,
Now.
and I
I'm
think
going to
it
get into
is
the
kinda
gameplay
like
now.
Hearthstone.
Your person
Here comes the gameplay. Three,
has its own abilities, just like Hearthstone.
All right, so the gameplay is...
They are not active abilities.
Okay, so the gameplay is... What you do is you start off...
But they cost
All
mana
right,
just
so
like
what the
everything
gameplay
else.
is, there's a board you look at, and there's yourself on one side, and there's your opponent on the other. And like Hearthstone, to give it back to Cody,
Kind of like a soccer field.
similar to a soccer field, which is not like Hearthstone, but like Hearthstone, your character has HP. And the goal is to lower the other person's HP to 0 and win. And how you do that is you play cards, and your cards have minions on them of varying degrees of strength, and some of them can fly, which can't be attacked by other types of minions. So it's about but how you decide what minions get sent out is based on the cards you have in your deck. So like Hearthstone, you have a hand, and as you play cards, you draw another one, and you play the cards on the field based on a mana cost, and your mana accrues over time. Similar
Like
to
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, accrues over time. But the difference between this and Hearthstone is the battlefield is kind of like a MOBA, because there's two lanes. There's a top and bottom lane, and then there's these bridges that you can get that can give you XP that will unlock abilities for your characters. And so when you drop your card, you pick whether it goes in the top and bottom lane. And that's kind of the strategy of, like, he's sending this tough guy up top, let me stop him. Or he's got no one coming up top and he's low on health, let me send someone on the bottom to go ahead and chip away at the last bit of his XP. So cool little strategy there. It's kind of a unique take on the card game. And it, like Cody was trying to say, it's just a lot of genres in one. It's MOBA, RTS, tower defense.
Yeah,
Tower defense is another that we haven't used yet.
Yeah, I would agree more with tower defense.
Scott, you make it out at the same.
It's
like
a lot of cooks in the
You
kitchen.
make it sound like I was just like, yeah, this is exactly like Hearthstone. It's just a 3D Hearthstone. That's not quite what I was going for. The card aspect reminded me a lot of Hearthstone, and the mana cost.
Okay, so to delve in this a little bit further, your deck consists of 10 cards. Is that correct, Elliot? Do you remember?
Yes, 10.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot to take notes. So your deck consists of 10 cards. You have a hand of 4 cards at all times. As soon as you play one of those cards, another card from the top of your deck cycles in. Depending on the order that you play your cards in will depend on the order that the next cards cycle through as well. So, for example, I had a deck where I had these minions after I played a magic spell card. The minions would gain this like overcharge ability where they would become faster, they would attack faster, they would run faster, but only if I had played a magic card before that card. So as I'm playing the game, I try to cycle it where I'm playing a magic card and then playing that card. And then every time it cycles through, it cycles back through the exact same way where the magic card is first and then those minions come out next.
Now, Elliot, on Twitter, I think I saw that you were romancing the devs. It seemed like you pretty well like this game.
I low-key fell in love with this game. I put in about 12 hours this week playing this game.
Nice.
Like, each session I played like 3 hours. I was like, oh, I'll casually check this out, and just, like, fell in love with it. It's a lot of genres in one, but it's also, like, the good parts of all those genres. Like, I enjoy MOBAs, but I hate playing MOBAs for an hour and then losing. I like Hearthstone, but I hate spending money on a Hearthstone just to play competitively. I like tower defenses, but I like playing tower defense games like on the computer instead of on my phone. So there's a lot of things that I liked about this rolled into one, and I think I did pretty well. I got to Silver 2, ranked solo and ranked with a teammate, so
Wow.
I was pretty successful. My strategy, I mean, I think the strategies here are really simple, and I think a lot of people didn't notice that. To me, it's all about controlling the bridges.
Oh, yeah.
If you control the bridges, you
Yes.
level faster, and nobody I played against realized that. And the moment you control the bridges, even if you have minions getting from the other side attacking you, like, if I'm leveling up faster, I'm going to get more
Well,
cards out.
I think probably they
eventually.
just skipped
So,
the.
to explain
They probably
bridges
just
a
skipped the tutorial. But go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, so to explain the bridges a little more, so like Jeff said, there's basically a top lane and bottom lane. Each side of the field is connected by bridges. Most of the stuff that you send out, especially minions, are only going to be able to be spawned on your side of the field, and then whether you put them on the top or the bottom, they can cross this bridge. Well, if your minion is the last one that crossed the bridge with no enemy minions coming towards it, you control the bridge. If you control one or both bridges, you gain experience. So obviously, if you have one bridge, both of you are gaining XP at the same time. Whereas if you control both bridges, you're getting double the XP. And your masters all have a unique set of abilities. The longer you hold on to those bridges, the more you level up your master. And after a certain time, certain ones they'll add cards into your deck where, I know there's one that's a mech. I cannot, for the life of me, remember her name. But you actually...
Yeah, I don't remember any of these names.
Yeah, I don't either. But you actually... It puts a card into your deck that costs 2 mana, but you can summon... You can actually get your master to jump off of the... We'll call it the base. You can actually...
Platform.
Yeah, whatever it is. You can actually get her to jump off of that and fight. And she has a lot of health, super strong. She has a limited amount of ammo and takes a while to reload, but very, very strong ability. Then there's others where I think my buddy Jay, the one that got me into this, he played basically a necromancer, and it stores these tombstones where you can actually, if one of your minions dies, you can actually resurrect them over a certain period of time. You have archers, there's ones that just do a massive amount of damage if people get close, and it's a really neat concept. So not only do you have to worry about the cards, how to counter the minions that your opponent puts down, and attack their again the base to lower its health and try to get it to 0, but you also have to worry about the bridges, controlling that and leveling up your master to get them the more powerful abilities that could turn the tide of the game.
Well, the big thing that each master has 3 abilities they can earn, but that 4th ability, I don't know if it doubles the amount of mana that you get, or what, but you get mana quite a huge.
It's stupid.
If you can get to that 4th one before they can, it's game over. I mean, that's the
I
name of
got
the
to it
game.
one time, and it was
Oh, really?
ridiculous what I
Oh.
did. Oh yeah,
Once you
to
get,
it one
that's the whole
time.
key.
Oh yeah, and it was just like I was just dropping cards left and right, just like bam, bam, bam. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
the guy had no chance whatsoever.
You almost can't get the cards
Yeah,
out
that's the
fast
best
enough.
part.
It's ridiculous. Like you're
Oh, yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
out like level 5s and level 6s like left and right. It's like, oh god, I still have mana to burn.
So one thing I liked about this game is just that it's really easy to learn. Like It took me maybe a game or two, and I'm like, oh, I get it, which was nice because a lot of MOBAs, like if you go back and listen to the Smite episode and how much time you have to put into that to learn, or even playing Hearthstone and building a deck and all the genres, like basically what Elliot was kind of alluding to, it kind of stripped down all the things that suck about those genres. It just made a very simple game that was just easy to get into, like, and so I was able to play it right away and have fun,
be careful,
as opposed to
you're gonna
really
make,
trying to learn the systems,
Guile
which
Smitey
I thought was nice.
very upset if you say that that's the learning was one of the bad elements of this game.
That's my opinion, man.
I know, but we still made him semi-angry.
You haven't
about
seen that
our,
movie. What a surprise.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of learning curves here, but also not at the same time. The times I was really successful is because I was low key. I was simple. You know, I didn't go with like a theme. I just went with like some aerial units, some ground units, some dudes that can shoot the aerial units, and like one big heavy dude. And that was success.
Yeah, that was a very good build as well. So just to mention, because of how soon this game has come out recently, like it's only a month out. There's only 177 cards within the game currently. So being able to actually get all those cards, unlike like Hearthstone where you've got a ton of packs that you're gonna have to sift through to be able to get all those cards or purchase them. It's very obtainable at this early phase in the game, so it would be easy to get all of these cards in the game currently.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see this game in like a year or two. Is the game still as easy to get into? Is it still as competitive, easy to be competitive in it as it is now? Because Hearthstone in the beginning was super easy to get into. I loved Hearthstone.
Especially because they hit...
But then, a couple expansions later, it's a completely different game, and it costs a fortune to be competitive in that game.
How you're going to change the game up. So you keep adding these cards, keep adding these cards, keep adding these cards. Well, next thing you know, the people who started don't even recognize the game. I had that problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! I loved old school Yu-Gi-Oh! And then once it started getting to like, there was just so many different cards and like, there was these crazy decks you could build. I lost interest because I lost it, but it sounds like the same happened in Hearthstone. So, I mean, over time, I think this will happen, but I really don't know how you fix that problem. I don't know how you fix that problem.
It happens with all card games. I don't think there is a fix for that. I mean, I played Magic, I played Yu-Gi-Oh, and there's so many cards by, like 3-4 years into the game that you've just got to this point where you're like, I can't afford to continue to pour into one of these games because of the price of the cards and how often you have to, purchase just to stay competitive.
Well, Magic the Gathering has done a pretty decent job of it, and so has Pokemon. There's a Pokemon game, and they've done a very good job of like just playing gives you a crap load of cards. I haven't touched the Pokemon trading card game, the online one, for a while, but I was playing it on my iPad for a couple of years. Yeah, it was fantastic when I was playing it, but it was so easy to get into.
And the system, it's similar to this game. The system, it takes a little, you play 2 or 3 games, and you're like, oh, okay, I got it, and then you're good.
Yeah.
And, it's not like, and that's a good comparison for this game to other games like Pokemon as a card game. It's really easy to get into. So shortly after playing a few times, like, oh, I know how to build a deck now, and I can have fun with that game. I think that's a good comparison.
And also, like Hearthstone, there's cards in this game that have synergy with other cards. I know Elliot was saying he just kind of made like a simple deck where he would mix it up with what type of units he was using. But there are, like he was saying, a theme deck where you can pick certain monsters that play well with the other monsters because they have similar effects.
Yeah, I've never been much on the deck building. Like, I've always struggled finding those synergies in cards. I don't know what it is. I've always struggled with that. But really in this game, the best thing about this game to me was that you can go in and you can play co-op with your friends. So obviously, my buddy Jay got me into this, so we both downloaded it, and we both sunk probably about 7 or 8 hours into it. And you do a duel, and it's 2 of you versus 2 of somebody else. Now you can do this one of 2 ways. You can, and I love how they implemented this system. It's really smart. So you have a solo system, rank system. You have a duel, or a 2-person co-op duel, but you can do that with a random person. And then they also have one for pre-made teams, which is a really nice touch. I love that. But anyway, the biggest enjoyment I got out of this game was playing with my buddy Jay. We both had kind of similar builds. We both used, we both had something where, all right, we can send out a bunch of like low-level monsters at one time. But I stacked more on the heavier side, and he stacked on the lower mana cost cards. So while he was just sending stuff, minion after minion after minion out and just stalling the point, well, that gave me time to send out a couple things, call in a spell or 2, but essentially save up to send out one giant, just behemoth of a card and just try to take over. And that it works really well when you can talk to people and strategize like that. And I'm sure there's way more synergies you could get into if you really, really understood the card system.
Yeah, a lot of gameplay options here. Because there's even like a story mode, essentially. There's a draft mode as well. There's a lot of different ways to play this game.
There's a draft mode? So I didn't play the draft mode. Is that like if Elliot and I were playing, they'd have all the cards there and we would just take turns picking cards for our deck? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's essentially kind of how it works.
The draft mode is similar to the Hearthstone Arena mode, except you don't have to pay to get into the draft mode. So what you do is you pick your hero, and then you are given a set of cards. I believe it was like 3 or 4 cards.
Yeah, there was. It wasn't like Elliot? The whole. Yeah, it might have been 4.
Okay,
I've only played draft a couple of times.
Yeah, I didn't play it. I pulled it up just to see what it was, but I didn't actually play it. So it gave you like 4 cards. You pick one of those cards, and then I believe those cycle out, and you get another set of 4 cards that you can pick one of the cards from there until you've built your deck of 10. So it's completely randomized what you put in your deck, depending on what you're given as options to be able to play it.
I like that, though.
It changes it up. It doesn't make the same static deck over and over again.
There's a game called NFL Street where you did that with teams, and it was awesome.
What game was that called again?
The good old
NFL
days
Street
of gaming.
Oh, okay.
It was like the NBA Jam of football,
so good.
not Blitz, but
so good.
it was good. Great game.
Blitz was my jam back in the day.
Blitz is
boys.
also awesome. You should play. What is it? Come on, help me out, Cody. Mutant Football League.
Mutant Football League. That was great.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
that's
will
always
be
one I
featured
saw, but never
on this podcast I heard about called Neo Retro
Wow.
Video Game Disco.
Wow.
Okay.
They're gonna do an episode.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Well played, Jeff. Well played.
Yeah.
On that note, let's take a break.
Yes.
Shameless plugs.
Hey, what's going on, Carrington?
Hey, Kyle. Nothing.
What's that? What are you listening to?
Only listen to the greatest indie gaming podcast of all time, Real Dudes Podcast.
Hold on. Real Dudes Podcast?
Yeah, you heard me right. Real Dudes Podcast, the greatest place to find indie reviews, interviews with developers, composers, journalists, and so much more.
What? Oh, hold on. Where can I listen to Real Dudes Podcast?
They have a website at realdudespodcast.com or even your favorite podcasting apps such as iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, and much more.
Okay. Well, now that I know about Real Dudes Podcast, I am canceling all of my plans. I'm skipping work, and I'm going to just go and listen to them.
Dude, that's what I did.
Real Dudes Podcast, the greatest indie gaming podcast of all time.
Hi, I'm Alex Williams, and every week on My Wax Museum, I'm joined by someone else from my regular old everyday life. I get to hear these amazing experiences from people that I just know. The best part is, you know amazing people too. So listen to My Wax Museum and then spend 5 minutes daily listening to someone you know, you'll be amazed at the stories they have to tell.
So, I'm starting a new podcast called Neo Retro Video Game Disco, which is a podcast.
You can't even say it.
Pronounce his own podcast. It's
I
not
haven't
his.
practiced it.
He's a phony. This guy's a big fat phony.
My favorite part was when he tried to give the email earlier, and he kept giving the wrong email like 3 or 4 times. It's fantastic.
What are
You
you
were
talking
texting
about?
us. You were trying to get a.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the email is short. Because the email is Neo Retro Disco, and I took the video game out just because I didn't want a long one. Anyway, it's a podcast dedicated to video games that are harken back to older games, be it pixel art, chip tunes, spiritual successors. So like Mutant Football League is a modern game that is directly inspired by Mutant League Football. It's actually created by the same guy, and that would qualify. And at times we're going to get a little loose with it. And I have plans for all 3 of my co-hosts on Budget Arcade to make various appearances, as I will have rotating guests.
Get everybody excited and say that Jeff has already approached me and said that we're going to do several episodes that we've planned together. So yeah, everybody get excited. Or if you hate me,
Well,
at
least
don't
2
watch
now.
it that week. That's fine.
Yeah,
Or
and
listen.
it is going to
Definitely
be,
one or the other.
unlike Film Soliloquy, I'm going to keep it PG. It's something I want my son to be able to listen to, but we're still
Yes.
going to have a lot of fun
And for once, I
be
will be
goofy. And
PG.
I'm planning it to be a little bit different of a format too, kind of almost like a variety show with an opening monologue, the interview in the middle, and then a closing thing. So skits and stuff like that I like to do. I'm just kind of cramming
Alright,
it all
enough
in
of the
one
other one. Let's get
podcast.
back.
All right, back to Minion Masters. So let's talk about what paying gets you in this
Get you
game.
more cards.
The loot boxes, right? You get the loot
Yeah, you get
boxes
the-
that give
the
you
power
cards, right?
tokens.
I mean, I
So,
didn't buy any, but that's what it seemed like to me.
You can pay for the heroes. You can buy them up front, or you can use gold that you get into the game to purchase them that way. There's also a in-game currency that you can purchase, and with that currency you can get more of the loot box style coins that will pull 1 card for each coin that you get. And then if you do 4 coins in a row, the 4th coin is a guaranteed rare
Yeah,
or
I
higher.
don't believe that you have to pull those consecutively. I think it can be like throughout. So every
Yeah, I
time
don't think you do
actually,
either. Because
No,
it marks
it is throughout.
Yeah, so
It marks it
that
in
is
the
a
top of
very
it.
very nice nice addition where you're not just rolling the dice every single time and you're going to get junk after junk after junk. You will eventually get something that's decent at worst. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and Hearthstone started doing something similar to that. I think it's like every 15 packs now you're guaranteed a legendary.
15. How much is
Every
a pack in
15 packs,
Hearthstone?
my gosh.
Yeah, well,
I'm glad I
mean,
don't play that game.
before that it was completely random and you weren't guaranteed any legendaries
Yeah.
whatsoever. But yeah, it's in Hearthstone it's 100 gold per pack, or I believe $1.99 per pack if you get it by the single
Yikes.
pack. Yeah, and that's only 5 cards each
Yeah,
pack.
gold's actually fairly easy to earn in this game. That's the in-game currency, and it's $1,000 per power token, I believe. Yeah, it's
1,000
it's,
gold.
I mean,
Yeah.
and you can earn at least 1,000 gold, maybe like Alien, maybe like 1 or 2 play sessions. Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh,
take
pretty
much.
easily, especially if you're successful. Because I know you get bonuses for winning streaks. I don't know if you get bonus gold for winning streaks as well. I know you get bonus XP.
Well,
if
they
you
also do
earn a
daily
win streak.
challenges.
Oh, there's also a battle pass.
We went on 2 separate paths there, Scott. Let's go with the battle pass first.
Yeah, there's also a battle pass that you can purchase. Just typical as any other battle pass. I'm
Yeah,
kinda,
and battle
honestly,
pass-
I'm getting tired of battle passes.
Battle Pass this time really seemed like a lot of cosmetic items. Not and some tokens, but a lot of cosmetic kind of skin things.
And this game didn't, at least to me, felt like it benefited from a cosmetic thing. Like, I don't care what the character looks like. To me, it
Yeah,
was-
I'm honestly,
Yeah.
I was too busy playing the game to even look at what the characters looked like. It was just
Exactly.
kind of like I gotta get this stuff out on the board. faster than my
Yeah,
opponent.
it's
That way I
the-
can beat him.
Oh, if
That's
I
like
had
how
a
the
legendary
skins on these
something,
first-person shooter games. You know, you get a skin
Yeah,
on a
if I had
first-person
a-
shooter game. It's like, what's the point? I don't even see the character.
yeah, if I had a legendary, I automatically went in and automatically just set it to that skin or whatever, and then just never back out to actually look at him again. It's like, oh, I have a legendary, I have to use
You get
it.
the cosmetics.
That was about it.
Okay, they're nice, but like he said, it's usually the game is so fast paced. Once you jump in, you're not paying attention to the other masters. You pick your master, figure out what you can do. You look at theirs and try to figure out what they can do, and then you completely forget about everything else. You're not looking at the other masters anymore. But no, that I do like that. There's only cosmetics with the battle pass.
Did you guys notice? Yeah, did you guys notice that if you get duplicates of cards, it seems like
They
they
do
level up?
And that's
Yes.
another thing you can spend the in-game currency on.
Okay.
That's nice. So duplicates aren't like a waste of time. That's nice.
I didn't actually level up a card enough or get enough upgrades to level up a card, but I think it does. Once you upgrade them, like it's not like a massive buff if I remember correctly from looking at it, but I think it does like
It's not massive.
If they do, we'll say they do like 25 damage per hit, they might go up to 30 or 35 or something. I think there's 3 tiers per card, or they might get more health or something like that.
Correct.
But it's not an essential thing. It's not like I've got to throw money at these cards. I've got to get these things leveled up. It's going to help you, but it's not going to make or break the game.
Yeah, but I mean, because of that fact, I'm going to classify this game as a pay-to-win game.
I think that's fair. I think so. The pay to win always has such a bad stigma to it because games like Hearthstone, where you pay for packs, to me, like I guess there needs to be a category for paying for things that affect the gameplay, because that's what this is. But like for card games like this, I kind of expect it. Like that's what they're built around. They can't just do cosmetics. And so it doesn't bother me that much with this, where the microtransactions actually affect the gameplay, because it's the nature
it's not
of
like
card
a
games.
Battlefront 2, where it's like, oh, you can get the card you really want. You can play as Vader, but you're either gonna have to spend until you're 80 years old to play him, or you can give us $60. It's not like that kind of system.
Yeah, and that's like the worst side of things, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
the absolute worst. With this one, it
far
doesn't
side of
really
this.
bother me that much. It never really has in these games. Now, of course, you are going to run into those people who they've spent the money, they've maxed out other cards, and they have every card in the game. But even if they have all the cards in the game, if they do not set them up properly, the deck's useless. And so, I mean, even if you do spend all the money in the world in this game to level up every single card and get all the cards, you're still going to have to implement some type of strategy into this.
Yeah, I agree with the pay to win in theory, except for like I did not struggle at all with my matches. Like I didn't pay a single dollar to this game, and I did not have a problem at all winning. So I do agree that there is some pay to do something, but I don't know if win is the right word. Like we're saying.
Right. That's kind of what I mean. You're paying, it does affect the gameplay. So it's not like just cosmetics like a Fortnite would be. But it's also, you're not going to start steamrolling people if you spend a bunch of money.
Yeah, it's not enough to really affect the game if you know what you're doing. At least for me, it wasn't.
Well, if you know what you're doing and you have the better cards, then I would say yes, it will affect the game, but to your benefit. Like if you get all the good cards and all that and you're complete trash at the game, you're going to suck either way.
Oh, and I also meant to mention this earlier on when we were talking about the Battle Pass. There are also daily challenges where you can earn gold, and I believe you can earn some of the stuff that you can level up your cards with, if I'm not mistaken. You can actually earn those through the daily challenges,
you
which
can.
is a very nice touch. I love when games do stuff like that.
Well, you can also earn the in-game currency as well as shards that are used to craft
the
cards
crafting
as
is
well.
what levels the cards up. So yeah, you can earn all of the gold and shards through daily challenges, and I think are they never ending, or is it just like 3 per day? I kept going through so many things, like because I was earning achievements and stuff, I lost track.
No, there's a limit. I think there's 3.
I could never lose track.
There's 3, but you can also re-roll one a day as well to get a
for
different
anybody playing this
quest.
game, if you go through achievements, you also get extra perks, whether it be gold, experience, or shards.
Let's discuss the replayability. There is multiple game modes within this game. Like Elliot was saying, there's the single duel. There's the two-person duel where it's 2-on-2. There was a what was it? A challenge mode. Yeah, there's the arena type of mode. There's a challenge mode where you can fight increasingly harder AI units, and then there was I don't remember what the mode was called, but it was like you had like a world map that you're transversing, and you have to battle other players to gain control of different areas. I don't remember what that section was called. Do you
I
remember
don't
that one,
remember
Elliot?
either.
Did you play it?
No, but I did play it, but I
I'm
don't
trying to
remember
look
it
for
off
it
the
right
top of
now.
my head.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
me
see
too.
anything about that one, and I didn't really experience that one. That wasn't the arenas, was it?
No, it was. Oh, let's see.
I'm
I
pulling
just
it
pulled
up
the
right
game while
now.
I'm sitting right here. That would be the easiest thing to do. But anyway, replayability. There is quite a bit because I mean you have several different modes you can run through. Obviously, you can modify your deck in several different ways to make your deck better, and you can always improve on something. Then you can start grinding for crafting. If you think you have you have all the cards, and you think you have the perfect deck set up, well, then you can start grafting for or grinding for the shards, and craft the cards to level them up. So I mean, and then you can play with each different master on top of that, which each one has their own unique abilities. Some better than others, but still, some of them are really good. So you're never going to play the same game twice, and it's great.
Yeah, the word we were looking for was expeditions.
Yes,
There's
that was it.
the current expedition, which is Shredded Woods, goes for another 7 days or 7 hours. I don't know which one it is. But the next one
7
starts
hours.
in 2 days. There's another one in 9 days. So those rotate and change too.
Yeah. Also, as you're playing, if you're playing ranked, there's different league rewards. It's 7 different leagues. There's wood, stone, bronze, silver, which Ellie got to. I got to bronze, gold, platinum, diamond, master, and grandmaster. And that's another thing that you can strive for within this game. You can try to work your way up the ladder of the ranks of this game. Oh, also, the ranks you've got the single player rank, and then you've got the duels rank that you can go, and they're both
Yeah,
separate.
that's what I was going to say. Is that there's actually 3 different modes for that. There's the single, the duo with a random partner, and then a pre-made duo. So there's actually 3 different ranking systems with this, which is a very, very nice touch. And within each of these ranks, they're from 1 or 5 to 1. 5 is the lowest, right? Yeah, 5 is the lowest, 1's the highest. And once you bypass 1, you move up a rank. Now, once you actually do hit the very, very high ranks of this, you will degrade over time, I believe, or if you lose matches, you can actually fall out of ranks. And some of the lower ones, like when you get to stone or bronze, you actually cannot fall out of those rankings. So if you moved your way up from wood to stone, even if you're a stone 5 and you lose every single game from here on out, you will never go back to wood rank.
Well, I don't know. Whenever it resets, you might go back down.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't. They never did say if they're actually doing like seasons or anything like that. I would imagine they would, where they reset everything.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, right?
Well, they've got rewards for reaching those ranks. So I'm wondering if the rewards are at the end of a quote unquote season, or if they're as soon as you get there, you get those rewards. Because I don't remember specifically. Well, maybe it was when we got there. So stone, you get 50 shards.
Yeah, 'cause-
bronze, you get 75 rubies. 1,000 gold for silver. 75 shards for gold. 120 gold, or 1,200 gold for platinum. 100 rubies for diamond. 1,500 gold for master, and 150 rubies for grandmaster. Yeah, I think those were as soon as you reached that rank that you got a chest and opened it up and it had those in it.
Yeah, I believe so.
One thing I will knock this game for is, okay, you said there was a reward system, and I stated earlier that if you can grind out achievements in this game, you also get rewards. The UI in this is not the best, but it's not the worst. I didn't know that you actually had to go in and claim, you actually do have to claim your daily challenges and your achievements that you've done. You have to go to a separate menu that's not clearly labeled, and then accept those to get the rewards, which my buddy Jay was the one that pointed.
I had the same problem.
So
I had the same problem.
It's like, again, it's not the best, not the worst. It's meh.
I want to say the UI on Xbox is probably worse than UI on PC. I don't know if you had this occur, Cody, but it was trying to snap to certain locations as I'm like moving the cursor around, which was really aggravating.
Yep. It definitely, as I'm playing on a console, it's one of those things that definitely was made for PC and would be better played on that. I also would love to see this come out on tablets and the Switch, because I think it will work.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I think that would work really well on those platforms.
I mean, it's perfect for it. They might have to downgrade the graphics a little bit, but I mean, any card game is made for mobile play.
Not really. Yeah. Those graphics are not particularly that intensive. So I mean, I've seen the Switch run better looking games than this one.
I do want to say, any devs that are listening to this, get rid of the Snap 2 on the Xbox, because it's horrendous.
Yeah, I was talking to Cody before we recorded, and I was telling him I thought I had a lot better time on the PC with my mouse than you guys did on your controllers.
My main point when we were talking about this,
Mr. PC Master Race over here.
Got a PC.
Look at him with his mouse and keyboard.
Even dropping minions where you want
I'm
to.
so
and
nice.
Stuff. Sorry. I apologize for nothing.
Look at me. I know how to spell.
Like me.
See, the rest of you, I believe your commentary is shallow and pedantic. Quite. Anyway.
Cody said pedantic.
At that.
Look at me. I know big words.
Oh,
pedantic.
you know he wrote that word down for tonight. He's like, I'm going to drop this sometime on these guys.
So, but yeah.
Oh, so you don't know what pedantic means?
Yeah, he's like, please.
Exactly.
Plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not as perspicacious as I once thought.
I was talking to Elliot earlier about this, and we were discussing like Overwatch and PC versus Xbox, and I would like to see them.
Hey, okay. No, stop right there. This isn't Overwatch. No.
For the devs, thank you.
No.
Shut your mouth.
No, you're not.
What would actually be very nice is if the cursor was a little more visible for Xbox players. Because I did end up losing track of my cursor several times, especially later in the game it got. When everything's going on, there's minions everywhere, there's fighting going on everywhere. It's kind of hard to see the cursor and where you're putting down stuff. That would be one thing I'd like to do. Yeah, so I was trying to make a point, Scott!
Why did you have to bring Overwatch into it? That had nothing to do with you
I'm
saying,
in favor
the cursor
of it.
is hard to find.
Overwatch is the best game
I was just
ever made,
that we were
so
that's how the conversation started.
vote.
We started talking about Overwatch, then we started talking about Minion Masters. And Scott, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm cutting off my audio.
What rank are you in Overwatch? Overwatch is the best. Let's do that.
Right, Jeff, does this game get your seal?
I like this game a lot, and I hope that they can build on what's there. And I mean, it's fun to play. It's easy to pick up, and the microtransactions aren't that oppressive. So, give it a go.
Cody, does it get your seal of approval?
Here, I'll do Cody's. Look at I know words like pedantic.
Use a big word.
No, but
this I'm verbose and anti-disestablishmentarianism.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Anyway, see, I gave you.
It's probably in the dictionary now.
But no, seriously,
you gave us a couple actually.
Anyway.
Cody always takes the longest.
He really does.
Why don't we start with
Cody? Get to it.
Always blaming it on us too.
On and on he goes. He's being pedantic.
Are you done? All right. So this game was a lot of fun. I really...
My microphone stinks.
God, I hate you so much. So much. Anyway, the game was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed playing it with a friend. Made it a lot more interesting. Even if I don't get super hardcore into this game like I have others, I will definitely continue to play it. So, yeah, it absolutely gets my seal of approval.
Elliot?
Yeah, I'm giving it my seal. A lot of fun. I put a lot of time into it this week, and this is definitely one of those things that if it was on the Switch, again, I know I say it every week, but I would play the crap out of it.
Because you lay in
I
bed.
thought there was very
second
few...
with most games, too. I mean, the Switch is awesome.
I feel very few downsides to this game. I didn't feel like it was too much pay to win. Again, I think if we talked about this game in a year or two, we might have a different opinion. But right now, I think it's a great game.
So they're still testing a lot of things, I feel like.
Yeah.
Well, we've got 3 thumbs up, so my opinion really
It
doesn't
never
matter.
matters, Scott. Your
But-
opinion never matters, so just shut your mouth.
Even when it's
I
not
knew he
his
was
turn
going
to
to do that.
talk.
For real.
Yeah. Don't interrupt Scott. That's very rude, Cody. Go ahead,
The
Scott.
guy who edits,
I-
you never screw with the guy who
I
edits.
apologize
Oh,
for
my
Cody's
head.
actions.
Okay.
God, I can't deal with this
being-
level of stupid. Oh, God. Oh, my head.
Is he like holding up a mirror and just
Oh,
looking
God.
at it? Or...
Shut
Maybe.
your face, Elliot. You're not helping.
I wouldn't recommend that if I
wouldn't
were
recommend
Cody.
it for myself, but shut up, Jeff. Scott, carry on before I have an aneurysm.
So, yeah, this game,
God, you're taking
I
forever.
was enjoying
Jesus.
it. I did not enjoy it at first. When I first fired up the game, first couple matches, I'm like, what
That's a good no-sell right
is
there.
this crap? And to be honest, I was gonna like poo-poo all over this game, but after Elliot was like, "Oh yeah, this game's amazing," and I put in 12 hours and I love this game over chat and everything. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll give it another try, see what it's all about." And I started to actually enjoy the game, the gameplay of it, and the simplistic strategy of the game. So yeah, it definitely it gets my seal. I agree. I would like to see where this game goes in a year when they start adding more expansions to the game. But yeah, pick this game up, go for it.
So all I got out of that, Scott, was you were going to poo-poo all over it when it was me talking about it, and then when Elliot chimed in, you're like, "Oh yeah, it's great. Oh yeah." I don't know why you became a Yankee all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
No.
because,
I was gonna poo-poo
Elliot
all over it when I first
speaks
started
clearly.
playing it.
He has, cogent thoughts, complete thoughts. He's
Oh, you got to tell
concise.
him that word after the podcast. You have to tell him what that
Look,
word
I'm
means.
an engineer. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It
Words
means
don't
you
matter.
are
Results
send him the link.
constipated.
What a true engineer statement,
Carry on.
by the way.
What are we playing next week?
Actually, next week we are not going to be playing anything. We have
What?
a special episode.
I got a week off!
Unsubscribe.
No,
Oh, that's right.
yeah. No, don't do that. So next week we've got a very special episode. We won't be playing a specific game, but you're gonna have to tune in to find out what that episode is about. Because no spoilers.
Ooh.
Mysterious.
Ooh, I think it's the all topless episode.
Where it's just it's the black screen, but underneath, behind
We'll
the
have to see what
darkness,
lurks
you can just
into the
picture me
episode.
topless.
Did
I
you get
wasn't
my
listening.
joke?
Yeah,
What are you lurking under there?
you,
Underwear.
what
you
did
guys
there.
are just you're hitting below the belt, guys.
Are we taking this a little too far now?
Oh, I went to the Burrito Famous and got the Chicken Diablo. It's a very good spicy burrito.
That was good. That was good
You know,
too.
it's funny. I actually
I
went to Taco
actually
Bell
had
and
a
got the
Taco
Diablo
Bell
sauce.
for breakfast, and yeah, so did I. I had it on my breakfast burrito.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
I love Taco Bell. Oh my gosh.
Did you hear about that new
That's
podcast?
why we get along. Is we're all kindred spirits. Yeah, I
Oh,
saw you
it's-
on Twitter telling Elliot
It's
about it.
like okay. I listen.
Yeah,
to
we
them.
should do our own Taco Bell one where we just
Yeah,
sit
we
around
could
eating
totally blow
mild
them out of
sauce
the water.
No,
packets.
I prefer the Diablo packets. I'm just gonna say that. I prefer
All
the
right.
spice.
There's a podcast called The Worst Idea of All Time, and they review one movie every week, the same movie every week for a year.
Are you for real?
And we could just do that with Taco Bell mild sauce. What'd you think of this mild sauce? Pretty good, I guess.
It's kind of mild.
It's not too bad, not too spicy.
All right. We want to thank you for joining us. If you're listening on iTunes, we ask that you would leave us a review. Blah. Yeah. Okay. You can follow us on Twitter at Budget Arcade. From there, you can join us on our Discord. You can also join through our show notes. You can send any hate mail. Oh, that's right. Jeff, hate mail.
Jeffrey's
I don't have
excited.
it. Hold on.
Yes, we finally
Well,
got our first hate mail. It's amazing.
Well, and hate mail's a strong word because it's really constructive criticism. And I felt like the gentleman who sent this to us was being very restrained in his what he had to say, because it could have been a lot more vile. I think I'm going to write some hate mail just to show everyone how it's done.
Yes, but he seemed very angry about it.
Well, I think it was because, so the email we're talking about was in reference to our episode on Path of Exile.
Similar to Diablo.
Where, yeah, similar to Diablo. Wink.
I'm just going to need you to lay that one a little thicker.
I mean, I lost track. But basically, so I'm going to read the email and let you know. The subject of the email is Path of Exile, ... You guys butchered this. Which probably can be said about any of our episodes.
God.
Pre-Elliot joining,
so
of course. But
there is
that's beside the point.
definitely a tone of frustration here, and I feel like, so it starts off, all right, where to start, ... So that's like, oh God, you guys are the worst. And so it says, the trading system doesn't use gold. We use exalts, chaos, fusing, alchemy orbs, divine orbs, tons of other currency. Which I thought I had mentioned because I
said
knew
gold.
that,
No,
but
you
maybe
said
I
trading.
didn't.
You said a trading system. I said gold because I didn't know a lot about the game.
Okay. This to me is the most petty line. It's not a skill tree. It's a passive tree. Fair enough. We called it a skill tree, but there's such thing as passive skills and active skills. Maybe. I don't know.
It's still a tree.
Maybe you're right. If you guys
Still a
could,
tree.
if you guys, all right, am I going to read this hate mail or what? If you guys couldn't figure out that you use jeweler orbs to change the socket on each item, then you guys must not have played much. Sockets change and socket colors change with chromatics orbs. That's fair. We play the game for 1 week. We're not going to beat the game, and I don't know how deep we have to be into it to do that. Just the nature of us having to play a game a week, live our normal lives, report a podcast. We can't get that in depth, but I think our first impressions were accurate. We also recommended the game. It's a game I really enjoy, but I am certainly not hardcore, and therefore this guy's probably right. All right. Next, he says, should have looked up their Reddit page before making this podcast about PoE, Path of Exile. PoE.trade is what we use to trade and look up items we need. We being the community that he's with, the Path of Exile. This is his game, you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
There are tons of forums within pathofexile.com that have builds for every classes. And then should have done way more research about this game before making a podcast about reviewing it. Also, those leagues, quote unquote, are temporary leagues and permanent leagues. I thought I got into that as well. Maybe I didn't cover it completely, but I knew there was at least a hardcore one. Temp leagues reset every 3 months where the core player base plays. So that's like your seasons. Thousands of hours are spent here, and I mean thousands. Standard is more of a Hall of Fame. There's items that are legacy, which means the item attributes have changed. No signature, other than it says sent from my iPhone. And that was from Anthony. I'm not going to give his last name. So
It's a very generic last name, though.
why you have to hate on his last name? Listen, I'll never hate on anyone's last name. So
This is your last name.
Anthony's not wrong, but we told everyone we liked the game. We asked everyone to
approved
play
it.
it. I don't think we were being
got
unfair
our
with
seal.
our review. We couldn't get with a game like that. Hold on now, Cody. I'm going to let you pop off here in a second.
I'm gonna let you finish.
With a
I'm gonna let you
game
finish
like
in a minute.
that.
I'm gonna let you finish.
But Beyonce had the greatest video of all time.
I got that reference.
So, like, even with Diablo 3,
Thank you, Elliot. Sorry, continue, Jeff.
So I'm here, boys.
yep. So with Diablo 3, which we kept comparing it to, or at least I did, it takes a long time before you get to all the good stuff. You actually have to complete the campaign of Diablo before you start getting into rifts. Before you get, there's a box that I can't remember, Leoric's cube or somebody's cube, where it unlocks skills from different items you got and attach them to other things. So if it's anything like Diablo, we would have had to put in a ton of hours to get as far into the game as we needed to be. And we just don't have that time. Our podcast isn't dedicated to just Path of Exile.
Yeah, we don't have the
So,
time to research
It's not
it either.
wrong, but we don't have...
It's either research
Yeah,
it
we
or play
just-
the
I
game.
mean-
And we wanted to enjoy the game
Yeah.
for what it was and then give our opinion on it.
And let's be honest, who the hell are we? You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like our opinion on it, that's cool. You know? I don't mind you disagreeing, and he was civil. But we've never claimed to be experts, and we're just having fun making podcasts with our friends. And hey, next time, though, if someone wants to send hate mail, please use more colorful language. We want to get the beeper out and use
I'm
it.
gonna love that.
Like, I sent this to my co-host of Film Soliloquy, which you can listen to anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Am I gonna get the talk?
And he said, man, that doesn't really look like hate mail. No, that doesn't really look like hate mail. And I'm like, you're right. I can't come back on this dude like I want. So I wait. Cody, you may
y'all
speak
pretty much
now.
said everything I was gonna say. My biggest rebuttal to it is that we haven't spent maybe I guarantee you almost none of us, at least in the week that we had to play the game, none of us were able to get to 20 hours, let alone thousands of hours. We're playing these games for a week, bro. A week. On top of that, all of us have full-time
Cody's
jobs.
too
Well, and he said
busy
that.
playing Apex.
He said,
No, all of us have jobs.
and he said that too. He said,
in
you know, you
school.
guys obviously didn't play,
Yeah,
otherwise
I
you would know these
and I mean,
things.
That's
So,
perfectly fine, but come on, man. Now you're just being a little nitpicky about some of this stuff, and I understand that, you know, this is your game, but I mean, if you want to come at us with something that we said that was
the only thing that I would say is truly nitpicky was the thing
skill
about
tree and the
the
passive
skill
tree,
tree. I was like, all right, you know.
You mean the passive tree?
Elliot,
Okay.
get off.
Yeah.
Before I forget, we also had a commentary from one of our listeners, and
very
I
nice.
forgot to say that earlier. So concerning the game we're doing this week, Minion Masters, they said to start, I did not have high expectations for he said monsters, but it's masters, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't know. We'll call it Monsters.
Yeah.
Just change the name of the game.
I first saw it on Twitch and thought, this looks like a crappy mobile game. And in a sense that is true. What has kept me playing Minion Masters so far is sheer amount of things to do. Single, team, 2v2, mayhem, draft, a battle pass, an adventure mode, and free. Not to mention a I don't even know what this word is supposed to be. Game that, in my opinion, is fairly priced.
I'm about to
Hold on, let me look on the Discord.
I'm curious.
I am the
Freemium,
master of
that's what it is.
vocabulary.
Freemium.
Me and Cody.
Freemium game,
Oh, that
in my opinion, is fairly priced.
you could have read that.
It
Scott.
didn't click why when I was looking
Who
at it.
doesn't know words
You
now?
need to hang out
Scott?
with Cody
Huh?
more and use words
I
like
did
Dan
Minion.
Hicken.
Okay, well, while I've
Should I finish reading this? for
sure
you?
go for it.
You having trouble? All right. Not to mention a freemium game that, in my opinion, is fairly priced. While I've seen many mobile games of the same genre, the absence of price gouging allows me to have fun without feeling like I'll have to spend $50 to get my account off the ground. Oh, streamers. Did I mention that there are loot drop? Oh, streamers. Did I mention that there are loot drops and Twitch integration? It's pretty fun. and that's from Shivant.
Yes, and what he's talking about, the Twitch integration. So I was watching his stream earlier, and if you are in the Twitch channel and you say something in the Twitch channel, there's also emotes you can do in the Twitch channel. When he wins a game, the people in the stands are actually avatars with your name on it, and it'll do whatever emote that you put into the chat.
Well, that's neat.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's specifically for if you're streaming it on Twitch, there's that integration that he's talking about. Okay, so back to any hate mail you can send to budget.arcade@gmail.com. Music is by Stimage, and you can download his
Music by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com. Music is by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com.
This has been a Little Gray Boy Podcasting Network production, and game on.
Are we done yet?